have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. I see a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
An incredible family and incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still one of my best friends.
That's crazy.
Right? Stacey Johnson.
Yeah, that's dope. I love it.
We used to go to the clubs and her father Seville.
Yeah.
My fellow Americans, words have many meanings, and sometimes instead of conveying our meaning, they can suggest other meanings. When we talk about the children of the community, they are a children of the community. We are the United States of America because we are united. And we are states, talking about the significance of the passage of time. Right, the significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time. Whatever we have in store cannot be known. The past was once the future. The future is, I should say, unknown. We gotta take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced out to take it seriously. Obesity is a serious disease, and it needs to be taken seriously. You need to get to go, and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work, and get home.
Okay, likes up, everyone. Please get the likes up. Thank you in advance. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, you all hear the word salad. You all hear the word salad from Kabami. Okay, so with that all being said, everyone please hit that like button. Let's get ready to get into it. It's a whole lot to cover. It is a whole lot to cover, beloveds. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And also, as per usual, if you don't like what the queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, so hello, Lillian X, Jeff ATL, Sister Moon 1. All right, DJ Big Six in the house, Pearly, my aunt Egypt, Darnell, About Damn Time, Pretty Wings is here. Shout out to everybody in the chat and everyone tuned into the queen. And also shout out to my moderators who put in work. Okay, so let's get into it. So apparently, Kabami has been busted again, guys. She has been busted again. Let's talk about it. Because they say that, in fact, when they were having a briefing for the hurricane, she was being fed information through her earpiece again. Now, we already said this is what was going on when she was having her debate with Trump. But now you can blatantly hear her. I mean, this is obviously what she was doing. What else could she possibly, have been doing? Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. This is all nefarious. I mean, Kabami just won't stop. Hold on, I'm looking. Okay, here it is right here. Now, I want you to pay attention because you can hear the person who is obviously her, likely her intern, I would imagine. I think that's, you can hear this part. You can hear her tell the person that it's a live broadcast. Okay, and she has her hands in front of her mouth, so you can't read her lips. Okay, this is all nefarious. I mean, this woman just cannot string a sentence together. She has to be told all this stuff. Hold on. Here it is right here. So let me just share my screen. Now, you all pay attention because this is going to happen in the very beginning of the briefing. Okay, likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. Let me just, well, I'm not even going to put an overlay up because I want you all to see when she puts her hand over her mouth.
Alafaya River, the Peace River, some of these type of traditional places that could flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there is a lot of media following this briefing. So there have been, we've gone from a Cat 5 to a Cat 4, and the language that a lot of folks have been using is downgrade. But it sounds like you're cautioning us that may communicate a sense that the danger is lessened when in fact it's
Alafaya River, the Peace River, some of these type of traditional places that could flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and
Okay. So did you all hear that? I let it play twice so you could hear it just in case you missed it the first time. She said live broadcast. She said live. Hold on, let me turn this music down just a little bit. She said live broadcast. Okay. Please make it all make sense. Kabami, what are you doing? Girl. And what I'm thinking is that likely, hold on. What I'm thinking is that likely they were they were telling her what question to ask. Because right after that, she asked a question. I'm Rifling Christ says confirms my suspicion. Well, mine too. Okay, I have a whole lot of questions, Kabami. Like, what's really going on here? Okay, what is really going on here? But that's just not it. At the end of the day, they also have now come out and said that she had 60 minutes to edit her answer when she was spewing the word salad. Now, for those of you that saw the original broadcast that I did, because I had to go back and edit it, you see, now it's all making sense. When I reported on the 60-minute interview and how she was spewing all this word salad, I didn't even show the footage because I know how 60 minutes is. You'll get a copyright claim or whatever. So I literally just played the audio with her face on there. And they still blocked my video worldwide. And I'm like, why would they do that when I just played the audio? Well, now I know why. Now it all makes sense because 60 Minutes removed the original audio and put in her answer for another question to try and make it all make sense. Another question that she answered quickly, they switched it to make it seem like she wasn't stuttering and stammering over her words and that she wasn't, in fact, spewing word salad. Okay, and so by the fact that I had the original audio from what she really said, I think that's why they blocked the video. So please pay attention. This is all so crazy. Now, I'm not going to play the video, though I do have it, which shows how they switched it out. You can find it on my X account, but I'm not going to play it because I don't want any more issues with them. But what I will do is go to a video of Megyn Kelly, whom I cannot stand, and this other media outlet talking about it, okay, going in on her about it. Okay, so let's get into it. Like some, everyone, please like and share. This is all so darn crazy. Now I'm going to put up an overlay on this as well. Okay, here we go. I mean, this is real crazy. How is this woman supposed to be so educated, but she cannot even, even when she stuttered and stammered the other day. If you remember when the teleprompter went out and she just kept saying repetitively, it's 32 more days till the election. 32 more days. We have 32 more days till the election. Okay, and what? I mean, she couldn't impromptu think of anything to say. She couldn't start talking about policy, economics, the so-called price gouging that she keeps on talking about. She couldn't talk about the hurricane. She couldn't talk about anything. This is all sad. I just hope you all are paying attention, honey, because I absolutely cannot with Kabami at this point. Now, let me put up an overlay so we can get into it, honey, because this is all crazy. Absolutely nefarious. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
To do interviews. Now, most of them are incredibly soft. Some of them are kind of soft. But I want to ask before we get into The View and 60 Minutes and Howard Stern and Colbert, why is she doing this now? I thought she was winning.
Clearly, there's been some bad news in the internal polling. And while today there was a New York Times Siena poll that showed her 3 points up in the national vote over Donald Trump, that's only anecdotal. What she needs to do is get up above him by some significant margin in the swing states, and it just isn't happening. And just as that New York Times Siena poll hits, another YouGov poll hit as well, saying that Trump is up. So what it tells me is that something told her in the internal polling it's not going well, and she needed a strategy shift. Otherwise, she would not be changing strategy with 30 days to go until the election. You only do that if you expect to lose. So she has seen something that we haven't seen that probably is rather dramatic because they are taking a huge risk putting her out, and also her buddy Governor Pinocchio, who can't go 2 minutes without telling another lie. So we'll see whether it changes her numbers at all, but it's really late in the game to be making this big a shift.
Yeah, there's also, as you know, a couple of state polls that have popped up tonight, which is starting to show Trump in front in the places that are considered to be the absolute must beginning of the win blue wall states of Michigan, Wisconsin, and in Pennsylvania. Now, about the actual interviews, I heard what you had to say today, that the 60 Minutes conversation was the more polite of the conversations that 60 Minutes would normally have with a political candidate. But at the very least, there was some pushback. And even then, she fumbles the ball.
I mean, I give Bill Whitaker credit for at least trying on immigration, but net, he wound up the thinnest kid at fat camp. Like, it's not really a great accomplishment. That was it. That's really, he pressed her on the economy a little, and he pressed her legitimately on immigration. So good. And on every other exchange, he fell down on the job. I mean, he had questions like, you say based on the following 3 or 4 things that Trump is a racist. Go on. It was like, what? It was so obvious, right? And then in the 60 Minutes extra, which is the outtakes that didn't, and just some of them, not all of them, God forbid they show us the whole thing because she'd look like a drooling mess. They, of course, cleaned up her transcript. But in some of the outtakes that they posted, he does get into the coup, right? That Joe Biden went down and she was elevated and she took over this role. And I'm like, great. This is where he's going to ask her about the fact that this, A, has been utterly undemocratic, and B, resulted after she lied to us all for years about his mental acuity. What did she know? When did she know it? Why did she look us in the eye and tell us that he was absolutely fine, when we both have her on the record now and him on the record saying they made every decision together. They did every law together. She was an integral part of all of the big administration decisions. So she was with him. She was with him a lot. So she would have seen. No, it wasn't asked. He didn't touch on it. All he asked was, well, do you think that's why people feel like they don't know you? Because there wasn't a more robust process behind your elevation. Oh my, what a fail. And it was just time and time again where she started giving answers like she was at a deposition. Now, I'm a lawyer. She's a lawyer. And these answers, to me, at first sounded normal because I spent 10 years taking depositions and doing cross-examinations. And when someone says, I'm not going to answer a hypothetical, that's a totally normal, common answer in a deposition, where you're across from an adversary who hates you and is suing you or your client. This is not a deposition. It is an interview in which she is asking us, on whose behalf the questioner is there, to hire her for the most important job in the world. I won't answer a hypothetical is an absurd answer. Yeah. And you know where she invoked it? Every single time it was foreign policy, because she's a know-nothing. She didn't know what to say when he asked her about China, when he asked her about Ukraine. She danced and danced and danced. She didn't know what to say when he asked her about Israel. Like every major conflict, she seemed completely flat-footed and a little clueless, like she was waiting for someone in her special little ear pod.
Okay, she said in her special little ear pods. Yes, she absolutely does have special ear pods. Okay, this is just all so ridiculous at the end of the day. So with that all being said, Kabami just can't seem to get it together. And this is all making her look real bad. Now, with only a few days left before the election, what is she thinking about? First of all, going on that show, drinking beer, cracking open a whole Miller Lite while people are out here struggling and all of that. And then all of these different gaps and everything that she's going through is just looking real bad. Okay. So with that all being said, now one of the hurricane victims called into the Breakfast Club yesterday, and he was very distraught, and it was really sad to listen to. He was very upset, blaming the government, and these are no longer conspiracy theories. I know they want us to think that they are, but when the people who are living it are coming out and telling us things that the government is or isn't doing, I'm going to have to take their word for it. Okay, I'm going to have to take their word for it. Now, I'm going to go to this video where the Breakfast Club is talking about what has happened with this caller. Okay. And I'm going to put an overlay on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. And I'm going to put Kabami up here because I do believe that she's, in fact, partially responsible. Okay. And here's the thing. Let me just say this. Now, I don't care for Megyn Kelly, but, and don't care for Kabami either. But the thing is this. How are they going to try to blame Kabami for not telling people that Biden is worse off than he was saying? At the end of the day, shouldn't that be his responsibility? That's not Kabami's job, okay? It just isn't, as far as I'm concerned. All right? That's just not her job. And if he asked her or told her not to say anything, she's supposed to do exactly that. Okay? I don't know what Megan's talking about. She sounds ridiculous. Now, let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. And this, I'm going to give you a trigger warning. Okay? So please pay attention. And also, because the Breakfast Club plays music during their broadcast sometimes, I think they were playing music during this. I'm going to play music just to change it up so I don't have any copyright issues. Okay, here we go.
Tone from Tampa, man.
Tone from Tampa. What's up, brother? How was everything out there?
It's a little light rain right now, heavy wind, but I'm going to just keep it a buck, man. This ain't where it's at, man.
Yeah, I'm going to say y'all right in the middle of it. The eye's hitting Tampa from what the map shows right now.
Man, bro, my heart, bro. I'm scared, man. And then we still recovering from Helene. And it's like, bro, I want to get this off my chest, bro. This government is playing in our faces, man. It don't matter if it's Republican or Democrat. They playing in our faces, bro. You get Ukrainians come over here, they get what they want. You get immigrants come over here, they get what they want. And you got people being denied these FEMA applications that you talking about the other day, Charlamagne. Mm-hmm. People being denied, bro. But you getting these migrants coming over here, $10,000 food stamps, bro. Fucking goddamn $5,000 cash stipends, man. This shit hurting, bro. We finna get ready to damn near die, bro. A lot of people couldn't afford to evacuate. And this government playing in our fucking face, man.
Damn.
I feel for you, bro.
I totally understand, my brother.
Absolutely.
It don't matter what they is, Democrat, Republican, they all treason, man. They all about money, bro. None of these people care about American people, bro. This shit hurt, bro. This shit hurt, bro. People wake up every day just want to live their life, bro. And you got these fucking greedy snakes, man. You got these fucking greedy snakes call themselves government service people, bro. And they don't give a damn, bro. They don't give a damn about the migrants coming over here. They using them too, man. This shit ain't right, man.
You're absolutely right, my
Damn, I
brother.
can't wait to start some back, man.
No, you're right,
to hear what he said he can't wait till God come back. He's absolutely 100% right. Because at some point, I don't know who else can help a lot of people other than the Most High.
Well, we're praying for you, brother.
Thank y'all, man.
Try to stay as safe as possible,
Yeah,
brother.
man.
And if you're in Tampa, man, if you're in Tampa, listen, y'all. Town and Country, West Tampa, Apollo Beach, Gibson, Davis Island, St. Pete, Clearwater, man, y'all get out the way, man. Get out the way. Go north, man. I don't care if you got to go to a high school, elementary, whatever, man. Get out the way, please.
All right.
Y'all be blessed, man.
Yeah, do what you can to stay safe, brother. And you know, when it's all said and done, we're going to see what we can do to help relief down there, man.
Absolutely.
And you don't edit nothing, Eddie. I want everybody. Well, I mean, of course, you got to bleep the curse words, but I want people to hear exactly how people on the ground feel.
Yeah, that got me almost crying.
That's everyday working class people on the ground. You can't lie to them.
I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. That's absolutely sad. Okay, now I saw somebody in the chat saying, I bet he doesn't even work. Let's not say that because we don't know if this man works or not. Okay, let's not say that he may not even work because we don't know that. And just because somebody can't afford to evacuate doesn't mean that they don't work. Maybe they don't have a lot of money. Maybe they have other people they're taking care of. There could be a myriad of reasons why people don't evacuate. And it doesn't have to necessarily have anything to do with the fact that they don't work. Okay? It doesn't have anything to do with it at all, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, let's try to give the people the benefit of the doubts. Now, here's another video where Kamala flip-flops on her policies, as per usual. Likes up. Okay, likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. You know, I would expect people who don't look like me to say something like that. Oh, maybe he doesn't work. Where's his savings? I would expect people who don't look like me to say that kind of stuff, not people who look like me. We should be more empathetic and understanding at the end of the day. Okay, I know people who do work, all right, and do have savings, but they still didn't have the money to evacuate. Okay, they still didn't have the money to evacuate. That's just how it is. And just thank God that you don't have to go through anything like that. Because can you imagine? And for anybody to even say something like that when you can hear the pain in that man's voice, he sounded so distraught. That's just not very empathetic in my opinion. Okay, please pay attention. Now let's get into the foolishness of this word salad.
On extending a tax cut, repealing that tax bill that they just passed. And also looking at estate taxes are going to have to go up.
Everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate.
I think that's fantastic. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
She was big on defund the police.
For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
She was the border czar. She doesn't want to be called the border czar because she's embarrassed by the border.
I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct.
Abolish ICE.
Yeah, we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had. A horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad.
Bidenomics is working. It's working. And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
My agenda includes attempting to get Congress to act, but if they don't within the first 100 days of my administration, I'm going to take executive action.
Well, first of all, I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private healthcare options.
I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance.
Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
She said, let's eliminate all of that and let's move on. That's what she says. Now, I'm not saying Vance and Trump at the end of that. That's what whoever posted that initially posted that put. That's not me saying vote for Vance and Trump. Because I've already told you I'm absolutely not voting for them. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, hold on. Let me see what I'm looking for here. Okay, so now here's a report on what happened with so I want to talk about that. No, I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so anyway, I want you all to pay attention. Maria said, yes, I said it. You want to blame the government every time. Get off your A and stop waiting for a handout. Get ready for the storms. Well, as I said, you don't know if he was sitting on his behind, beloved. You don't know that. You're just making speculative remarks. That's all that is. You don't know if that man was working or not. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And then obviously you don't have any empathy or sympathy for the man that he's sitting up there crying. Okay. This is somebody who looks like you. I mean, it just sounds cold and heartless at the end of the day. That's how it sounds to me. It sounds very low down, dirty, and nefarious. That's how you sound. Okay. That's how you sound as far as I'm concerned. All right. I mean, have some empathy. Be glad that you're not in his situation. You don't know if that man has children living with him. You don't know what that man's going through, if he has some type of disability or whatever. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, I would never shame anyone, specifically any Black person, for depending on or asking for support from the government, because the government is the reason that many people who look like me are in the predicaments that they're in. Let's talk about it for a second, since you want to go in on somebody who's going through a traumatic experience, I'm sure, and may not even be alive today. We don't know. He made that call yesterday. But with that all being said, here's the thing. So, and I'm just wondering if you are one of those Black immigrants who always wants to try to talk down on American Black people and say that we're lazy. Because I saw a video of two African women talking trash to two Black men yesterday on a video and saying, oh, we come here and we get grants and this and that, and we start businesses and you all just been here all this time, you don't do anything. Well, the bottom line is you get those grants, which you don't have to pay back. You get these years of not having to pay taxes because you're not from here. You see, because I keep telling people, the reason these Black immigrants can come here and get benefits that we can't get is because if they get out of pocket, the United States will send their behinds right back where they came from. They'll send them right back from whence they came. They don't have anywhere to send us because we were born here. Okay, and this is where we are from. So they can't deport us anywhere. All they can do is throw us in prison. Okay, that's the kind of things they try to do, or commit genocide, or whatever they choose. But at the end of the day, I think it's very, very nonsensical and very low down just to talk down on people because they can't afford to evacuate. You do not know anyone's circumstances, and for a Black person to even suggest something like that about another Black person whom they know nothing about is just, to me, the equivalent of being a raccoon. Okay, that's what that sounds like. It sounds like someone being a raccoon. Now, with that all being said, let me continue, honey, because that really pissed me off. Okay, so now let's talk about Senator Hawley, who was going in on Congress. He was no holds barred. He was letting them have the business and calling them out, and I absolutely was there for it. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I'm about to share my screen. He clearly had a lot to say, and I'm glad that he said it because somebody needed to. Okay? Somebody needed to.
% committed to banning stock trading by members of Congress. So I'm not going to be dissuaded from that one way or another. And we can throw up as much chaff as you want to, but the fact of the matter is members of Congress should not be trading stock. They should not be. Congress is a rich man's club.
And here's the thing. They absolutely shouldn't, because that, to me, can be deemed as a conflict of interest. Okay. What are they trading stocks in? Does that have anything to do with the way they pass these bills or not? I have questions, as should we all. But let's continue.
That's the problem. That's what we're trying to fix. I would suspect that I probably have the fewest assets of anybody sitting on this dais. I am not a rich man, unlike those to my left. So, I mean, listen, the American people look at people like the former Speaker of the House, who makes better returns than anybody in America. They look at senators who were investigated during the COVID pandemic for their miraculous stock trades, and they say, how is this possible?
Exactly. Okay, and what you should be asking yourselves is, do any of them own any shares in Pfizer, Moderna, okay, any of these big pharma companies that had anything to do with venom? Do they own anything in that? That's what we should be asking ourselves.
To think that this might become a problem in the future is frankly fanciful. It's a problem now. It is, and it's not just in perception, it is reality. Members of Congress are trading daily based on information that the public doesn't have.
And now I'd like to recognize Senator Hawley for his comments.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for working so diligently on this and accommodating my many suggestions and concerns over a period of months to make this the strongest possible bill. I think it's a terrific bill. Senator Scott threatened me a moment ago that if I made a lengthy statement, we might lose his vote. So I will be extremely brief. I just want to point out that the historic nature of this finally getting to a vote. There's been a lot of talk about banning stock trading by members of Congress. Never have we been able to get a vote. We're going to get that vote today. And I just think that this is such a simple proposition. The American people, when I go home and I say to folks, they ask me about stock trading, here's the thing that absolutely stuns them. They can't believe that it's legal already. They can't believe we can currently do it.
Let me pause for a second because Soft and Spicy says a lot of people own shares in those companies, LOL. Yeah, a lot of people may, but a lot of people are not the ones in charge of passing bills and legislation, okay? So please pay attention. That is the difference, okay? That's the difference. If me or you or people that we just know on a regular basis, people that are everyday people working 9 to 5s, own stock in those things, that doesn't have a damn thing to do with us. I'm talking about these people who are passing these bills, because then you have to start wondering, are they passing some of these bills? Are they making people have mandates to get venom because they're going to get something out of it? That's the problem, okay? Some of y'all act like y'all are slow.
Members of the public think it's already banned. And when I say actually it's 100% legal, they say why? And there's no good answer to that question. We should be here to focus on the public's business, not private gain. We shouldn't be here day trading. We shouldn't be here focusing on our stock portfolios. We should be here doing what the American people sent us to do. And that's what this bill is about. With that, I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
I came in here happy to vote yes on this self-flagellation. For my own part, what I did when I ran for office, I divested myself of all my marketable securities, turned them into cash. I've been sitting on cash. And you know how much I've lost in terms of opportunity cost since that point in time. So, from my standpoint, I was able to do that. I had the capability of doing that. I thought that'd be the honorable thing to do. My wife has since purchased an ETF, which this does exempt, and I think that's a good thing. I would caution people in terms of, I'm going to vote no now. We don't want to turn Congress into a rich man's club. I think it's already suffers from that. And again, I thought also, and I would want clarifications, mainly the reason I'm asking this, is are private businesses exempt or not exempt from this? I was told, again, it's hard to interpret legislative language, but if, I had a rather large manufacturing company, which I did not divest myself immediately, I since have, but that would be grotesquely unfair. We're going to limit the number of people, by the way, qualified people. I actually want people with manufacturing experience or business experience. People who've been successful in life. I'd like to see successful people come to Congress and bring their successful skills to bear here. So, again, I agree with the Senator Romney. Insider trading is already illegal. I don't know. I think there's all kinds of suspected abuse. A lot of people come into Congress and all of a sudden they're multimillionaires later. I think we do need to exercise caution. But again, I'm primarily speaking at this point because I want clarification. Does this or does this not exempt a private company of somebody who's going to run for office or a member of Congress? I mean, all of a sudden, does that have to be divested? Because I think that'd be a travesty, quite honestly.
Is there an answer to that question?
The answer is that it's exempt if it's a small business as defined by the Small Business Administration.
So how small is small defined by 500,000?
Hi everyone, Alina Haba asking you.
Okay, so this stuff is just all nefarious. At the end of the day, listen, they should not be able to do that, okay? That's just my opinion. They shouldn't be able to, because I think that it can affect the decisions that they make. And also, there's the issue, like they said, of insider trading. Let's say the average person, 9 to 5 working, if you invest in something, what's the likelihood of you having inside information? But if you're a congressman, if you're a senator, a state representative, then you may just have powerful connections, in which of course you do. Because you know other politicians who are above you, you know all sorts of people, okay? And you can, get things done simply by saying, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, okay? That's how that works. So absolutely, they should not be allowed to do it. But hold on, let's go back to Senator Hawley, because he just went in on a Biden official who tried to be slick, okay? He went in on him, and I absolutely love it, okay? I absolutely love it. I mean, sometimes, and I'm glad he called out nasty Pelosi. Okay, I'm glad he called her out. At the end of the day, they all need to be called out when they're doing dirt. These are the Democrats, okay, for the most part, too. These are the Democrats. And, when I'm talking about some of these things, you have to be exercising critical thinking skills. You can't just be thinking, in an elementary fashion. You have to be using and exercising critical thinking skills. You should say to yourselves, why is this a problem? If they're investing, if they have, stocks in these different companies and things, why is this a problem? How does this affect me? And you start thinking like that, and then you'll put two and two together. And I don't have to tell you because you'll figure it out for yourselves. Okay? Talking about everybody has stuff in that. Lots of people do. Well, lots of people aren't running this country and running states and all of that. And lots of people aren't privy to inside information, and they're not passing laws everybody's not able to pass laws that benefit them or, help them to paint their narrative.
Oh, listen, don't play that game with me. We're talking here about energy production. Oil and natural gas are energy production. And the facts of the matter are this president has reduced our ability to be energy independent.
Thank you, Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to the witnesses for being here. Assistant Secretary Light, if I could just start with you. In the years leading up to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, almost a year old now, many European governments prioritized what they called the climate objectives. I'm not sure that their policies actually improve their environment, but that was their surmise, climate objectives over energy abundance. And in particular, they prioritized cheap energy from an authoritarian regime over energy independence. Do you think that playbook executed by governments in Europe is something we ought to be doing in the United States?
I think that the clear lesson is that no country should be beholden to one supplier for its energy sources or a very large proportion of its energy sources, and that energy security is built on energy diversification. I think that energy diversification is at the backbone of U.S. energy policy, and so I don't see any risk that the United States will follow suit in that respect.
Atlanta area, join us in taking the gospel to the ends of the earth today.
Okay, I'm glad he's giving them the business because somebody clearly needs to. And all this stuff is doing is just making me want to get involved in politics because this stuff has to stop. Okay, maybe I should run for Congress. I just might. And I'm so serious. Okay, because this stuff is really starting to get under my skin. Now, with that all being said, and then we have these two buffoons, Trump and Kagame. Okay, neither of them, as far as I'm concerned, should be in the Oval Office. They just should not be. Okay, because let's talk about Trump for a minute. Now, his whole idea of promising to give the police more power. First of all, the question is, why the hell do the police need more power? They already have all the power. Okay, they have the power to frame people, to plant drugs and things in people's vehicles, to murk you at a simple traffic stop when you're not even armed, especially if you look like me, and then lie and say that they fear for their lives. And they're lying when they say it, because how the hell are they in fear of their lives from a person who's not even armed? How the hell are they in fear for their lives from a person who's not even damn armed? Like, this just really gets under my skin. So you have a gun, you have handcuffs, you have a baton, you have a partner, you have a radio. Okay? Make it all make sense. You have a taser, you have pepper spray. What more do you need? What more do you need? And you don't even have to get up close upon the person to fire your gun or your taser. So I'm sorry, that's just a load of BS like I have always been telling you guys. And Trump's talking about give them more power. Well, they already have enough power. I'm sorry, they absolutely do. Former President Donald Trump made his way to Wisconsin, a battleground state crucial to both his 2016 and his 2020 loss. Now, the stakes, in other words, are high. So he made a few big promises to match. Now, we found this out in May. And the reason I'm looking at an article from May and another one from August is because I didn't see any current information about this. You see, I find it interesting that this is what nobody's talking about when they talk about Trump. Nobody asked him about this during those interviews. You see, when he was at the National Association for Black Journalists being interviewed, why did they grill him on that? That's what I would have thought they would have grilled him on, but they were too busy trying to just, trying to make him look foolish so they could uplift Kagame. If they really wanted to make him look foolish, they should have been asking him about this. Okay, because this is what I want to know about Trump. I'm not concerned about Project 2025. I'm concerned about this right here. Our promise, we're going to give our police their power back. First of all, where the hell was their power? Who took it? Where's it been hiding? Because I thought they've always had it, okay? This is what he told the rally goers. Okay, and we're going to give them immunity from prosecution. Between police and prosecutors, law enforcement officers are arguably already the most powerful people in the government, are they not? The police in this country have been militarized. Do you not see how they come out in the full-on riot gear when people are just peacefully protesting? People are not out here wreaking havoc. They're not out here with weapons. They're peacefully protesting, but yet they'll come out in riot gear. And that's when it's people protesting who look like me. Now, I don't recall a time when I've seen them do that to other people who are protesting. Maybe they have, but I don't recall a time that I've seen it. But let me continue. His second promise, though, immunity from prosecution, that's more concrete and a reminder of the former president's views on government accountability. There are, however, a few problems. Let's start at it. Let's start with the beginning. Now, President Trump, or former President Trump, would be extremely constrained in immunizing anyone, including police officers, from prosecution, as most criminal proceedings in a state court where his power wouldn't even apply, okay? And while it's true that some officers are charged federally for alleged misconduct, where he could lobby the Department of Justice to refuse to charge any of those police officers. See, that's the problem. That's what he could do. Okay, he could simply get the DOJ to not even charge them. Now, those prosecutions are often in addition to state charges, mind you. And as was previously written, charging anyone, no matter how unsympathetic, a defendant in both state and federal court for the same alleged misconduct strains constitutional credibility. Now, to put a stop to that, even temporarily, would be just. The reality remains that no president, including Trump, can countermand state prosecutorial decisions. Now, take Derek Chauvin, for example, the man who stood on the neck of George Floyd. So take him, for instance. He was convicted in a Minnesota court of murdering George Floyd. After that trial concluded, he pleaded guilty to federal charges for which Trump could certainly pardon him during another term in the Oval Office. Okay, so think about that. And that would make no material difference in the amount of time that Chauvin spends in prison, as his state sentence, 22 and a half years, and his federal sentence, 21 years, are running concurrently, not consecutively. Okay, so the only noticeable effect would be a change of venue, as Chauvin is currently incarcerated at the Federal Correctional Institution in Tucson. Now, it is also true that police officers are rarely prosecuted to start with. And he's talking about give them back their power. Where did it go? Okay, despite a handful of high-profile trials that have been captured and gotten public attention, and that's likely the only reason that those people went to trial, is because it was recorded on someone's phone, there were witnesses, people found out about it, or what have you, because sometimes they cover these things up. In fact, most times they cover these things up, okay? Just think about how Breonna Taylor, we didn't hear about it until maybe a month, almost 2 months after it in fact happened, and that's because they were covering it up. Okay, they kept that out of the media. Now, no one should be criminally charged because the political moment appears to demand it. Similarly, no one should be immunized simply because it plays well with a political constituency. But despite the overall illegal illiteracy of Trump's promise, it's worth considering what it says about his general outlook on accountable government or lack thereof, and if those with the most power should be held to the lowest standard, because that's basically what Trump is saying. You see, in my opinion, the police should be held to a higher standard. Those who have taken an oath to protect and, uphold the law should get stiffer punishments and penalties when they break it. They should not be treated the same as me and you. They should, in fact, be treated worse. Okay? That's how that should go. Now, to his answer to the above question is more or less a yes. Should not come as a surprise. During his term in office, Trump made it clear that he would fight any legislation that sought to hamstring qualified immunity, the legal doctrine legislated into existence by the Supreme Court that bars alleged victims of misconduct from bringing civil suits against state and local government employees if the way in which those employees violated the Constitution has not been explicitly ruled unconstitutional in a prior court decision. So, in other words, if there was no previous case that set precedent for it. Now, it is why, for example, 2 California men were not able to sue the police officers who allegedly stole over $225,000 from them during the execution of a search warrant. So they took all this money and they couldn't sue. This is all crazy. I want y'all to pay attention. Okay, says, as there was no previous court ruling that said stealing under such circumstances is unconstitutional. Now, I'm sorry, but why do we need that to be in the Constitution? Stealing, period. Taking something that doesn't belong to yours, something specifically something of value, okay, monetary gain, you're stealing that from somebody and you're the police. That should go without saying. But again, we live in the divided snakes. Now, federal law enforcement officers, meanwhile, are essentially already protected by absolute immunity. So what's Trump even talking about? The most common objection to curtailing or ending qualified immunity is grounded in the fear that police officers will be bankrupt by breathless lawsuits. Now, those who are nervous about such an outcome can take comfort in the fact that prior to any jury trial, plaintiffs must also show in federal court that their allegations concern conduct that was unconstitutional. More importantly, cops are almost always protected from having to pay damages themselves. Now, a study conducted by UCLA law professor Joanna Schwartz found that governments paid the judgments 99.98% of the time. It's hard to know if Trump realizes this is the case, as he promised in December to indemnify police against any and all liability, whether or not that was a knowingly false promise, or if he's genuinely unfamiliar with the law remains unclear. I can guarantee you he doesn't know the law. That's what that is. He's ignorant of the law. And to me, ignorance is no excuse, because before he started saying certain things, he should have done his research. But clearly, we all know that Trump doesn't do research. But there's at least one thing that's clear. Trump would like law enforcement held to a lower standard, than the little people, than the rest of us. The former president has arguably never been a tried and true conservative, but he does need to court them. And if it's difficult to make a conservative case for ensuring that those who enforce the law are also above it. See, that's the problem for me, like I said. Because even if he can't do it, even if it's something that he can't do, it's the fact that he even wants to. Because again, if the states just didn't go by what he said, he could always get the DOJ and say, hey, listen, don't prosecute them. Okay, don't prosecute them federally. That's what he could do. Okay, Mad Dog Jack says, I'm voting for neither one. Hold on. What did you say about Kennedy? Hey, y'all, I just saw Ethel Kennedy has died. Okay, well, thanks for letting us know, beloved. Thanks for letting us know. Condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones. Okay. Mr. Elevation said, you ain't fooling us, Trump. No, he's not. He absolutely isn't. Now, with that all being said, here's something that nobody was paying attention to, or shall I say, I'm not going to say nobody. Most people weren't paying attention to. And it's called the Pact Future Agreement. Now, this was signed, I believe, last weekend, by the UN officials. Now, on the surface, they make it all sound so good, They make it all sound so good. But please pay attention. Please pay attention. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share, or not. So, United Nations Pact for the Future and what it delivers. Okay, I'm going to read just a bit of this, and then I'm going to play a video that'll give you more, a briefer summary of it. Okay, so at the Summit of the Future on September the 22nd of 2024, world leaders adopted a pact for the future that includes a global digital compact and a declaration on future generations. Now, this pact is the culmination of a years-long process to adapt international cooperation to the realities of today and the challenges of tomorrow. The hard work of implementation begins immediately. The adoption of the pact demonstrates that countries are committed to an international system with the United Nations at its center. Now, leaders set out a clear vision of a multilateralism that can deliver on its promises. This is more representative of today's world and draws on the engagement and expertise of government, civil society, and other key partners. Now, the pact is the most wide-ranging international United Nations agreement in many years, covering both new areas and issues on which agreement has not been possible in decades. Above all, it aims to ensure that the international institutions can deliver in the face of a world that has changed dramatically since they were created. It makes clear commitments and achieves concrete deliverables on a range of issues with strong attention to human rights, gender, and sustainable development. Okay, so far it doesn't sound nefarious, right? So far it doesn't sound so bad. And in fact, they make it sound like it's something so good. Isn't that how it all sounds? And now, even if you Google it, let's see what they say about it on Google. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, now here's what it says when you Google it. And you see, like I've told you all before, that when they pass nefarious things that they really want us to miss and not pay attention to, they do it when there's something else in the media, in the news, that's keeping people's minds preoccupied. So hoping that you'll be distracted. And they do it also, sometimes they'll pass these things during the holidays because Christmas and Thanksgiving, people are all caught up with the spirit and they're really not paying attention. This is what they do. And I find it very nefarious at the end of the day. And a lot of people still haven't even noticed that. So here's what it says if you Google this, okay? And this is exactly why I try not to get most of my research from Google. It says, yes, the Pact for the Future is a real agreement adopted by world leaders at the United Nations Summit of the Future in September of 2024. The Pact is a set of 56 pledges across 5 themes, including global governance, where they talk about reform, the UN Security Council and international financial institutions, and strengthening partnerships with civil society, the private sector, and local authorities. They talk about peace and security, work toward peace and security, and intensify diplomacy to settle conflicts peacefully. Sounds good so far. Let's keep going. Science, technology, and innovation. They say reduce global disparities in science, technology, and innovation, and improve internet governance. Youth and future generations. Expand youth participation in global decision-making and listen more to young people. Well, what's the problem with this, Queen Amadai? This all sounds great. Sustainable development. Accelerate the implementation of the 2030 agenda to end poverty and hunger. Now, the pact also includes the Global Digital Compact, which is the first worldwide agreement on the international regulation of artificial intelligence. The Pact for the Future is the result of a years-long process to adapt international cooperation to the challenges of today and tomorrow. It's intended to create a more effective, inclusive, and networked multilateral system that can respond to global crises. Well, that surely didn't sound so bad. But let's talk about it. I'm going to put up this video, and I want you all to listen and listen close. For those of you who don't know who this woman is, this is Dr. Cheryl Tenpenny. Dr. Cheryl Tenpenny is a truth speaker, in my opinion. And she's one of the people who has been added to the government watch list known as the Disinformation Dozen. Okay? Now listen to how she sums this all up, because I'm going to tell you right now, this sounds very much so like something that I told you all about a year ago. Okay? Please pay attention because you absolutely heard it here first.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, and I want to do a quick update about a document that got passed by the United Nations this weekend called the Pact of the Future document. It's two parts, one on science and technology and one about the youth and future generations. It is quite egregious, and it was done by a procedure called the silence procedure, which makes it a pact. And if no one objected, it is automatically adopted and put into the record as being completely adopted. This is the World Health Organization's runaround, or end around. Since they were not able to get the World Health Organization treaty passed, they decided to take it to the General Assembly. And it is even more egregious than what the World Health Organization was wanting to get passed. Let me just read you something really quickly about what is inside of this pact that is now being accepted by 193 nations around the world and equally open-armed accepted by our current administration. Everyone, it says that this is the power structure, fully digital and maximized for the control of the masses. Everyone will be expected to have a biometric digital ID that marks them not just as citizens of an individual country, but as a global citizen. So anytime you hear global citizen or anytime you hear sustainability, think that this is an egregious thing that's happening at the level of the World Health Organization and the United Nations. Anyone that has a dissonant opinion will be labeled as misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation and memory hold. Perpetrators for unapproved information will be fact-checked and punished by the system, which will be operated and enforced by artificial intelligence. Punishments will include being locked out of one's bank account, being unable to make certain purchases, unable to get on an airplane, on a subway, drive on public roads. This is the future, according to the world's self-appointed overlords at the United Nations. These are unelected bureaucrats that are making decisions about our country, our sovereignty around the world. Nothing could be more important at this point in time than to get prepared, have water, food, digital access, flashlights, a way to communicate with family and friends. Now is really the time to get involved and get prepared, because this is what's coming.
Okay, so I want you all to pay attention, because everything she just said, I literally have been telling you this. Have I not? I've been telling you all this before they came up with this Pact for the Future. I've been telling you all this since November. As a matter of fact, Thanksgiving Day of 2020. And then she tells you all the lifelines that I've already been giving you. She's talking about stocking up on food and water, flashlights. Didn't I tell you all this? One's in the chat if you remember me telling you all of this, because I know y'all do. Dorana said, yes, you did, Queen. I've been telling you all this for years. And I know some people were probably thinking, why is she telling us all this? Nothing's happening. Nothing's going on. Why does she keep saying the same stuff about lifelines and stocking up on non-perishable food items and telling us to stock up on water, to get candles and a generator if we can afford it, and flashlights? Why is she telling us this? Why does she keep doing these PowerPoints? This is why. This is why, because I told you guys this was coming. Now, I didn't know they were going to call it the Pact to the Future or for the future, but this is what I did tell you all about a year and a half ago, if you remember. I told you that this country is about to adopt something that is similar to communism. In fact, it is communism, in my opinion. A Chinese-style social credit system coming to America. I told you guys this. Okay, how many of you remember me telling you this? Literally, everything that she just said that is in that package, in that agreement, is everything that I told you. I told you that some people wouldn't be able to travel domestically, internationally. You wouldn't be able to send your kids to certain colleges. That if you were saying things they didn't want said, you could be deemed as a terrorist, thrown in jail. I've been telling you all this, okay? I've been telling you all this. This is all nefarious. So let's go back, for those who missed it, to what I was telling you. All right, everyone please like and share. For one, I talked about how the banks would be able to hold your money. And that if we have digital currency and there's no longer cash, going around through the system, everything's digital, they could just with a flick of a button cancel your whole account. They could shut down your whole account. Didn't they do that to Kanye West and Wendy Williams? Didn't they do that to Kanye West and Wendy Williams? And what did Kanye say when they did it to him? He said, if they could do that to me, they could do that to anybody. They could do it to regular citizens. I'd already told you all they could do it. I'd already told you all that they could do it. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, listen to this. The ease with which personal banking is conducted in the modern West could surely cause some envy to our mattress stuffing ancestors. Okay, cash point machines abound. Plastic is easy to carry, and most comforting, one's money is backed by the full faith and credit of the government. Importantly, unless one fundamentally transgresses the legal order, we can be sure our capital is always at a moment's access, right? Put another way, except in cases usually pertaining to national security, banks are rather indifferent to a client's private life. The good, the bad, and the ugly are all welcome, provided that they have the right decimal counts. And so it pains me to report that in America, a peculiar phenomenon dubbed debanking is beginning to occur with increasing visibility. Debanking is what they call it. So debanking or de-risking is what it sounds like. Okay, a bank will, for legal liability or reputational risk, terminate without any notice an individual account. Normally, this does not grab our attention, right? Criminal organizations and terrorists will agree, should be frozen out. And of course, banks may choose with whom to conduct their business. But recently, over a dozen Republican attorneys general, I think that's a typo, should be a Republican attorney general, the main legal advisors to our state governors, they wrote a letter to Brian T. Moynihan, the chairman of the board and CEO of Bank of America, noting that the institution appears to be conditioning access to its services on customers having the bank's preferred religious or political views. Now, in a 7-page memo, the attorneys generals on BOA's partnership, and the BOA is Bank of America, on their partnerships with the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the U.S. Treasury to profile conservative and religious Americans as potential domestic terrorists. What y'all think about that for a second? So what? For them to profile conservative and religious Americans as potential domestic terrorists. Now, the seeming weaponization of our banking institutions to target Americans guilty of what they call wrong things, like you're thinking the wrong things or you worried about the wrong things, right? Is a piece with the targeted censorship from certain behemoths in Silicon Valley. Now, it was not too long ago that the New York Post, a paper founded by Alexander Hamilton, found its reporting on Hunter Biden limited by Facebook and Twitter. Y'all remember that? Now, in effect, this meant that the story would not gain traction on two of the largest news platforms on earth. Okay? Banking, like our modern news consumption, is by and large transacted through a digital medium. Okay, hold on for just a second, beloveds. Okay, so with that all being said, sorry, I was talking to someone. Okay, so with that all being said, banking, like our modern news consumption, is by and large transacted through a digital medium. If an organization is deplatformed from a web server or debanked from, say, the second largest bank in America, claiming nearly 15% of all domestic deposits, there are not many options left, and that is by design. Okay, that's no accident. So conservatives should be worried. It was not too long ago that Lois Lerner, head of the IRS exempt organizations unit under President Barack Obama, used her power to specifically target conservative nonprofits. Now, this clear government malfeasance was met with outrage, and she was forced to resign. The private sector, especially the large banks, are not so easy to take to task. And see, this is a problem. A strong banking system is built above all else on transparency. Now, opaque account cancellation policies based on subjective standards of reputational risk, or whatever that's supposed to mean, not only cut against the spirit of free enterprise, but it super empowers an elite few to control the lives of most citizens. Okay, ironically, the very same citizens who are forced to provide bailouts to banks like Bank of America when times get tough. Okay, we often scoff at the notion that a social credit regime could never happen in America or the UK, right? This form of tyranny, we believe, is surely not the stuff of democratic regimes devoted to liberty, but it's happening right here, and it's growing increasingly successful. Okay, because like I told you guys, they've already done this to Kanye West. Remember when Kanye West was deemed as anti-Semitic and he was saying stuff that people didn't want him saying and all of that? How his money was frozen? How they took away his billionaire status? How the same thing happened with Wendy Williams. Okay, please pay attention. This is what happens. This is exactly what happens. So, Greta said, I never agreed to the bank bailout. Well, who did? Most of us probably didn't, beloved. But at the end of the day, it's our tax dollars that fund these things. Greta says they took Wendy's money. Yes, they absolutely did. They took Kanye West's money too. They put a freeze on it. Okay, this is what they do. So I'm just telling you all, while we're sitting here talking about Diddy, and this is all salacious news and everything, but like I told you all on the other channel, and by the way, if you missed the broadcast I did this morning on the other channel about all the Diddy nefariousness, you can go back and check it out. Okay. But the reason I said that I'm getting bored with doing this Diddy stuff is because it's all salacious and, you know, juicy information, I suppose. And we all want Diddy to go down if he's done these things. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is we have bigger fish to be frying. That's all I'm saying. Okay? We have bigger fish to be frying. And here's one of them. I want you all to pay attention. Here's one of the things you should be concerning yourselves about. So remember when the pandemic was going on and everybody was told to get the venom? So here's now what they're saying. I want you all to pay attention and pay attention good, because there's some things that I can't say and I'm not going to say, but you're going to have to draw your own conclusions and you're going to have to fill in the blanks. Okay? You're going to have to read between the lines is all I'm saying. Now, some of you will be able to. If you're slow, you won't be able to catch on. All right? You won't be able to catch on. Denise said, so true, distractions 24/7. Exactly. That's why you have to be someone who thinks outside of the box, who's not one-track minded. Because as I've told you all a myriad of times, the only people who get so distracted that they don't realize what's going on around them because they're so stuck in the matrix are people who are one-track minded. Okay? If you can't multitask and you don't have the ability to think of more than one thing or focus your thoughts and energy on more than one thing at a time, well, you just won't catch on until it's too late. Now, this is a report from months ago that didn't get much traction because nobody was paying attention. But this is just the beginning. There's more information that has recently come out. So please pay attention.
Today, the Senate held a hearing that's years in the making, okay? The long COVID community is real. That's why I started this Substack. The comments I'm getting, the research, the pain, the frustration. Years later, there's still no answers for people. So it took years to get the hearing, but they got it. Now, I want you to hear some of the testimony from this doctor who was there, he's researching this in a way that clearly these senators were not aware of, okay? Take a listen to this.
Now, you should be asking me also, like, how do we treat long COVID? You've heard it before. There are zero approved medication for the treatment of long COVID. So these people have nothing to really lean on for curative treatment. Nothing. Zero FDA approved medication.
Now, let me ask you before I let this video continue, once in the chat, how many of you have ever heard of long COVID? If you've ever heard that term, once in the chat, if you have ever heard of long COVID. Once in the chat, if you've ever heard of it. Some of you are saying you've heard of it. Hopefully none of you haven't. But let's continue.
For the treatment of long COVID. This must change. We really need to change this. It's not beyond the might and the prowess of American medicine to solve this problem.
Amen. Amen. It is, you know what it is? It's beyond the will. Okay? It's not that we can't, it's that we won't. Why? Nobody sees advantage in this. Oh, that's very cynical. Listen to some of the responses from the senators in the room. Dusty, put up the full screens. Please put it up. It was a Senate hearing, okay? So, Ralph Norman, I have concerns every day when I get up with China. Well, so what? Well, what are you doing about it?
Right.
Representative Troy Carter, we should all be concerned. COVID is something that devastated our country, devastated our world, and we should never, ever take anything for granted, be mindful of any activity. Yeah, well, you're seeing it right now. What are you doing? Now, I don't understand why I'm showing you these representatives. This was a Senate hearing today. These were saying it was Bernie Sanders and all these other guys were there. And this was like, they were like, oh, yeah, this is, this is something. No, it's not something. Like, this is millions of people that are dealing with this. And there just isn't the urgency. And I'll tell you why. Those people don't see advantage. That's why. If they saw advantage over the other party, they'd be about it. That's why they're chasing Fauci. Okay? Because there's a perception that that's bad for Democrats. He started working for Trump. Then he worked for Biden. But that's the game they're playing. But they won't mess with China. Dr. Deborah Birx, okay, lived the pandemic during the Trump administration. Former White House coronavirus response coordinator, okay? Her pedigree is impeccable. And she has concerns as well. Doctor, thank you for joining us as quickly as you did since the last time. Thank you for doing it. Let's start with the hearing. Were you able to monitor it and get a sense of whether or not these senators were smelling what these doctors and these people who were suffering were cooking up for them?
No one wants to talk about COVID, so no one wants to talk about medium and long COVID and the devastation that is left in the wake of even a mild to moderate COVID infection. And I think because they haven't adequately warned the American public, and I thank you for continuing to warn the American public that COVID should be taken seriously because we can't predict who will get long COVID, and we don't have treatment for it. Yet it is devastating. And every week that goes by, we get new science on what this virus has done to human bodies.
It's so crazy. So I haven't revealed her name yet because I don't want to get this doctor who's doing great work into the mess of being connected to me. But I am putting my protocols that I'm doing for my long COVID on this Substack. I'm not doing it on the show because I got to be careful about it. I'm not a clinician, but all the things that I'm taking, glutathione, NAC, NAD, but none of it is FDA approved for long COVID because they don't even know what long COVID is. And I have thousands of people reaching out to me saying, I have the same symptoms. Oh, I was trying that. And then.
Hey, I want you all to pay attention. This is very, very sad. This is very sad. So he's saying that he has long COVID. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. And he's taking all of these medicines and they're saying, that there's nothing for it. Is that what they're saying? There's nothing for it? Well, that's exactly what they said. Danielle says, Queen, my nephew was diagnosed with it and he's had it a number of times and it started after he took it. Yeah, and I know what you're talking about. And so please fill in the blanks in your own mind. Okay? Ask yourself, did it come from something he caught or something he got? Just pay attention, beloveds. And I'm sorry that your nephew's going through that. He'll be in my prayers.
And this happened. And it's like we're all in the dark. And you hear those senators today, there's no chance anything becomes like a major effort anytime soon. Bernie Sanders, good man, not to criticize him, but he's like saying it affects everybody, the rich, the poor, the this, the this. So what are you doing about it? I mean, as far as you know, what's the answer?
So I think your physician that you had on said it very well. We have the technology to figure this out. If we put out a call that we want to see everybody with long COVID, study their genetics, see if there's a predisposition, that's point one, is to find out who is the most susceptible, because you can prevent future cases. But point two is to really take the research and the science that we have about the mitochondria, about the brain fog, about the microglia, about the microclots, and really work on therapeutics in those cohorts. There's a way to do those studies. We did those studies in the past for HIV. We can do that for long COVID. We're just not putting it's not even the money part, it's the passion to really get an answer for all of these individuals who are.
Okay, so with that all been said, I'm going to go to the next video where they're still talking about this. And this is the one that you need to pay attention to. Okay? I saw somebody put in the chat, they said, okay, Queen of Receipts, LOL. I don't know if you're trying to be funny or cute. If you are, I don't know why, because this is all very serious and I don't find anything about it funny at the end of the day. And I'm asking very serious questions when I'm telling you to think about it. Was this something someone caught or something that they got? Okay. If you have critical thinking skills, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. You'll know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, well, you'll just laugh like it's a joke. And when it's not a damn thing funny. Okay, so let's get into it because, like I said, this stuff is all very nefarious.
Former White House coronavirus response coordinator, Dr. Deborah Birx, saw a lot of her. All that nonsense about her scarves when this country was in crisis shows you what we really try to focus on sometimes, right? Her name was in the news almost as much as Fauci. So now that she's out, what does she know and what can she discuss about long COVID? These comparisons being made to HIV. If you look up Birx's background, she's done a lot of research in the area.
I want you all to pay attention. For those of you who've been following me since 2020, when this stuff all started, pay attention because now they're literally comparing it to HIV. And I told you all something very significant back then about this before this even came out. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention.
Of HIV AIDS and what that means. Let's bring her in now. Senior fellow at the Bush Institute, adjunct professor at Texas Tech Health Sciences Center. That's just my tongue. It's not my long COVID. Doc, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Chris.
So first up, long COVID. Okay, I want to talk to you about that. But the idea that the CDC wasn't getting things right on your watch and you're worried about what they're doing now means what? Give some context to that headline.
Well, it's really important that we understand what went wrong in that first entire year. And I think the number one thing was they weren't willing to really understand that COVID was a very different virus than flu. And you can't use 19th century symptomatic tracking of viruses when we have 21st century technology. And so we were late to testing, we were late to really talking about asymptomatic spread, and we were very late in recognizing the aerosol nature of this virus, which still lives with us today. And that's why it still spreads so easily indoor, because it remains suspended. It was never flu. It will never be flu.
So this leads people to say it was intentional, that this was the government wanting the sickness to spread. The vaccine was forced on us because it was good for big pharma. What do you make of those notions?
Well, I was there and none of that happened. So I just want to make it clear. No, the virus was not intentional. You could say we intentionally ignored it because we didn't act fast enough and we didn't test fast enough. I mean, we allowed all of the people to come in from all over the world just tracing symptoms. They clearly had asymptomatic disease and were spreading virus. And now we know So what are we doing now as solutions to fix the big gaps that we found in our response? And I fear we still haven't taken respiratory diseases and RNA viruses seriously enough as a country.
Long COVID, your level of concern, your assessment of the notion that it's vaccine caused, and what you make of comparisons of long COVID to HIV/AIDS that are now in the news.
Great question, Chris. First, long COVID predates any of our COVID vaccines. And this is one of the key areas that separates this virus from what we've known about other viruses. And I want to really emphasize to you and the public, we only have experience with this virus for 4 years, and we're learning something different every single month about what this virus is capable of doing, from what it's capable to do neurologically in the long term, what it's capable to do to our mitochondria, and that's this muscle problem that we're seeing, what it's capable of doing with microclots. I mean, to pretend that we know everything that this virus is doing and to be cavalier about getting repetitive COVID infections is really a huge mistake. I am careful. I've had it once. My 95-year-old mother's not had it at all because she's in a particularly vulnerable age group. There's a way to protect people with common sense strategies.
Comparisons to HIV, you've done a ton of research in this. Do you believe this is a false flag? Is there something that contextually people need to understand about that comparison? Or is this much darker a potential reality than we knew?
The reason the comparison to HIV is important is because HIV was also asymptomatic. I mean, you couldn't see the virus through symptoms because people were infected for 7, 8, 9 years before they developed symptoms. But HIV quietly destroyed our immune system. And we learned a lot about immunology from HIV, and it's changed completely our cancer therapy. We're learning now about mitochondria and viral impact and brain fog and the changes in our neurons and the cells that nourish our neurons that really allow us to think and move. And we're learning that because what the long COVID has done. And so there's two sides of this coin every time. There's a lot of destruction that mild and moderate COVID can do that is on scene, just like HIV was destroying our immune system. But what came out of that is brilliant science that changed how we treated HIV. And if you're diagnosed today, you can live a very normal lifespan and people not only survive, but thrive. We need to get to the place where people with long COVID, we've done the research so that people with long COVID can not only survive, but thrive.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnation.
Okay, so I'm just so over these people at this point. At the end of the day, she's saying that you can live, she's saying that you can live with HIV and all of that. But who wants to? Who wants to? Okay? Who wants to? And doesn't that, what they're talking about, sound like the same damn thing? Doesn't it sound like the same thing? At the end of the day, this is just all ridiculous, okay? This is all really ridiculous. And I feel so bad for some people. I feel so bad for some people at the end of the day. Okay? So, unfortunately, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. And you just can't believe and trust everything you hear. You just can't believe and trust everything you hear. You see, sometimes, I'm not even going to say what I want to say. I'm not even going to say what I want to say. I'll just tell you guys to make sure you join me on Rumble this weekend, because I promise you I'm going to be dropping some videos on there, because this stuff is really getting on my nerves. It's time to sound the alarm. That's all I'm saying. People have to know. Okay, so with that all being said, before I roll out of here, I have a few more things I want to bring to light. The likes up, everyone, please like and share. And listen, beloveds, do your due diligence Make sure that you are stocked up on things. Make sure that you are, following the lifelines that I've been giving you and all of that. Make sure you have things in your home, first aid kits, flashlights, batteries. If you can get a generator, that's good. You can get a solar powered generator for like $250, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. But make sure you're stocking up on your bottled waters and your non-perishable food items. And let's not forget that I told you should be buying water every time you go to the grocery store, because one thing about it is you can never have too much. You can never have too much water. Greta says, Queen, you've been saying stock up. We in for a rough road. Absolutely, beloved. Absolutely. Okay, so listen. It's about to get real crucial. James says, so that means we would have to change our eating lifestyle, or their eating lifestyle. We're going to have to change a whole lot of things, beloveds. We're going to have to change a whole lot of things. Please pay attention. MJ says, sounded real loud, Queen. Okay? Absolutely. All right. So now let's get into the last of it. First of all, did you all notice the hurricane? Now I see why they call it the eye of the storm. Okay? Look at this. I'm sorry. What? That looks absolutely nefarious and demonic. Okay. Nita's a Mike's World asks, do you have to pay for it? No, beloved, you don't have to pay for it to come on there and watch my uploads. You don't have to pay for it, okay? This is real crazy, right? Doesn't that look scary? Looks like a skeleton with an eyeball or something. Like, what's going on here? Okay, but that's Hurricane Milton. Please pay attention. So let's go to an update. Let's go to an update. Hold on, beloveds. And then we got to talk about Dr. Dre. And then I'm out of here. And then also, hold on. Let me just show you all this video of Trump. Hold on. I got to show you all. I forgot to show you all this. Trump is so ridiculous. He is absolutely ridiculous. Now I want y'all to pay attention. It's what this fool said. Please listen.
Thank you very much. Where's Gates for Trump? You don't look good. He said, you look good. We did great with the gay population. Thank you very much. Where's Gates for Trump? You don't look good.
First of all, how is he going to tell somebody they don't look gay? What? To do stand-up comedy instead of trying to run for president, okay? He missed his calling, clearly. All right? You don't look gay. Where's gays for Trump? Oh, please sit down somewhere. Okay? Please sit down somewhere. Okay, now here's an update that came out like 4 hours ago. Okay, on Hurricane Milton. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds.
For landfall, and the storm surge, as initially reported, has not been as significant overall as what was observed for Hurricane Helene. Right now, it looks like Sarasota County had the most significant storm surge, likely somewhere between 8 to 10 feet. And remember, with Helene, we had 15 to 20 feet up in Taylor County. Rescue missions have been underway throughout the night. State search and rescue teams report at least 48 individuals have been rescued as of 0630. National Guard search and rescue teams have worked overnight and successfully executed rescues of families and pets on the West Coast and from the destruction of the tornadoes in the central and eastern parts of Florida. The Guard continues to work into the morning and have 31 rescue aircraft operational and hundreds of rescuers engaged in over 125 active missions in 26 different counties. Over 6,500 soldiers are deployed throughout the state. Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission has made land and water rescues in Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco County. The State Guard has also been engaged in search and rescue, assisting with floodwater evacuations as well as damage assessments. There are currently 3.1 million accounts without power. There have been 635,000 restorations since Hurricane Milton hit Florida. The areas that have the most significant outages as of this morning are Hillsborough, 75% out, Hardy, 97% out, Manatee, 82% out, Pinellas, 68% out, and Sarasota, 75% out. Of course, there are 50,000 plus linemen that have been pre-staged. A lot of what they'll do this morning is likely assess the damage and then begin restoration operations very quickly. And we appreciate everybody that's in that fight because that's very important for a lot of people. Cut and toss have begun at first light by the Florida Department of Transportation. 328 crews are active in the field with over 350 pieces of heavy equipment and trucks. 150 bridge inspectors were dispatched at first light and have begun performing inspections to open bridges across the impact areas, as I put in my executive order.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there because this is like 25 minutes long. Okay, so he was giving you an update, but listen, it was very serious because this mayor came out a couple of days ago warning people, and here's what you said, and this was the mayor of Tampa. And again, some people, unfortunately, were not able to evacuate.
This is literally catastrophic. And I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Wow. I mean, that is an incredibly blunt message. And I know you have a lot of experience dealing with these storms. You don't say something like that lightly, Mayor.
I've never said that. And 10 to 12 foot surge. I mean, if this takes a jog to the south, that's going to save us from the storm surge, but it stays on the track that it's projected to be on right now, or if it goes a bit north, would be even worse. Some of the predictions are saying that Pinellas County, to the south of us, the entire county is going to be underwater. So this is something that I have never seen in my life, and I can tell you that anyone who was born and raised in the Tampa Bay area has never seen anything like this before. People need to get out.
And you're
okay. She said people need to get out. But like I told you guys, she said if people didn't evacuate, they were going to die. Okay? That's why I said that guy that called into the Breakfast Club, you know, that was so distraught. We don't even know if that man's still alive at this point. And some people couldn't afford to leave. Some people didn't have transportation. Some people's cars wouldn't start. Remember, I told you guys days ago that the electrical cars, they weren't starting. I showed you a video of a woman who said that her car wouldn't start. So there was a myriad of reasons why people couldn't evacuate. Some people were left stranded because nobody bothered to want to give them a lift, wanted to help them. Some people didn't have room to give them a lift. There were a myriad of things. So for the first thing to come out of anyone's mouth is to say that, oh, I bet he doesn't work. That's just absolutely nonsensical. Okay, that is absolutely nonsensical at the end of the day. I mean, it's something called human decency, and I would think that we would all, or should all have it when we're going through something like this as a country, with many people possibly losing their lives, even innocent children. Because even if that man didn't have a job, let's look at it like this. If he didn't have a job and he has a wife or girlfriend and children living with him or whatever, are they supposed to be blamed because he didn't have a job? And because he didn't have a job, does that mean that his life is worthless? That it's okay that he dies in the storm because he didn't have the wherewithal to get where he needed to go? Okay, I don't understand some people. Don't understand. But anyway, let's continue because here it is. Dr. Dre. I'm sorry, but here's the thing about Dr. Dre. I'm glad he's getting called out. I don't like Dr. Dre. He's a woman beater, allegedly. The thing is, I don't understand how they demonize Chris Brown, but not him. Not saying that Chris Brown shouldn't be demonized if the things they're saying about him are true, but at the end of the day, they've been long saying these things about Dr. Dre, okay, for decades. Why haven't they done a documentary on him? Okay, I have questions. And also, why haven't they done documentaries on some of these men who don't look like me, who are not of my skin tone? I have questions. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Dr. Dre hit with a $10 million lawsuit as marriage counselor alleges malicious harassment. So the hip hop titan has been hit with a $10 million lawsuit accusing him of malicious harassment. Now, filed on October the 9th in Los Angeles, the case is being mounted by a psychiatrist who claims to have served as a marriage counselor and mediator for the rapper and his ex-wife before and during their divorce. Now, Dr. Charles J. Sophie is accusing Dr. Dre, born Andre Young, of bombarding him with an ongoing barrage of threats after he worked diligently to assist with his marital issues with Nicole Young, his then wife. Now, the allegations include claims of threatening text messages and the arrival of fake FBI officers to intimidate Sophie. Now, this man is alleging that not only was he being threatened via text messages, which is so foolish. How would you dare to be dumb enough to send someone a threatening text that they can still have and show proof of? That's for number one, Dr. Dre, with your dumb self. But for number two, goes on to say that he even had fake FBI agents come to the house. Said he got some people that he knew to dress up like the feds and show up at the man's house. How do you think he's going to get away with that? And so anyway, the man's legal team says, rather than treating the mediation process as an opportunity for healing, Dr. Dre decided to take his frustrations out on the mediation, about the mediation out on Dr. Sophie. Frustrations that manifested themselves in the form of a nearly year-long sustained campaign of late-night text, threats, and intimidation and violence and homophobic rhetoric. Now, they go on to say in the lawsuit that Young, a prominent and powerful figure in the music industry with a well-documented history of violence and abuse, carried out a series of unlawful acts deliberately intended to threaten, intimidate, terrorize, and ultimately ruin Dr. Sophie's personal business and ruin him professionally. Now, Dr. Sophie does not relish suing a former patient. Nobody should have to live in constant state of fear, though. Okay, but Dr. Sophie does, ironically, for no other reason than he tried to help Young to resolve his own family's conflict. Now, Sophie's suit seeks a restraining order to prevent further instances of the alleged harassment, and monetary damages that his attorneys assert should total at least $10 million. Okay, and like I told you guys, the man has clearly had text messages that Dr. Dre supposedly sent him. It looks like everybody's getting called out on their BS. Okay? Looks like everybody's getting called out. Hold on, beloveds. Like some, everyone, please like and share. Now, so let's get into this other article. So, in a new lawsuit filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court, Dr. Charles Sophie alleges that Dr. Dre, born Andre Young, hired him in 2018 to mediate the breakdown of his decades-long marriage to his now ex-wife Nicole Young. Sophie says he worked diligently, independently, and fairly to help the couple resolve their dispute, and ceased communications with Dre when the pair reached a settlement in late 2021. Now the doctor says that about 14 months later, mind you, Dre started texting him out of the blue with allegations that the doctor had somehow acted inappropriately. Allegations the doctor denies. He says rather than treating the mediation process as an opportunity for healing. Okay, we already know that part. Now, in a statement, Dr. Dre's attorney, Howard King, told Rolling Stone that Dre previously filed a confidential complaint against Sophie with the Osteopathic Medical Board of California last year, seeking to get Dr. Sophie punished for dereliction of duties and incredible incompetence. Says that the complaint seeks revocation of Dr. Sophie's license to provide mental health counseling to needy patients, and in gross violation of all applicable standards of care, Dr. Sophie inserted himself in a contentious divorce while he simultaneously treated not only Mr. and Mrs. Young, but their children. He was terminated when it was revealed that he was encouraging one of their children to take sides against Mr. Young, even encouraging his son to go to the press with false allegations in order to force a financial settlement that he recommended. Okay, now Dr. Sophie has consistently rebuffed medical board attempts to investigate these claims, but has now filed this desperate suit while the noose of the medical board is tightening. Not the noose of the medical board. Now, according to Sophie's 22-page lawsuit signed by his attorney, Christopher Frost, and obtained by Rolling Stone, Sophie says Dre sent him an overtly threatening text around 10 p.m. on February the 16th of 2023, in which he claimed that someone told him something disturbing and that Sophie was going to have to pay for that. Sophie says he replied, "Excuse me?" And shortly after that, he says Dr. Dre responded saying, "Yes, you, and you're a piece of shit." Sophie said that he tried to remain calm and attempted to defuse the situation. He says he responded the next day with, "Good morning. I have no idea what you're referring to and would make myself available to discuss anytime. Thank you." He says Dr. Dre doubled down with a follow-up message that read saying, "You effed up. Okay? Just so you know. I love being underestimated." Sophie says Dr. Dre falsely accused him of trying to turn an unidentified third party against him. He says Dr. Dre wrongfully accused him of acting improperly during the divorce mediation. Now, there is no truth behind these baseless and far-fetched accusations, he says. Okay, Dr. Sophie tried to let the threats go and to not even pursue them. But Young, however, would not let go. According to the complaint, Dr. Dre sent another text on March the 5th of 2023. And this one said, "What happened, Doc? I thought you wanted to talk. Cat got your chug? You're going to have to give me a written apology. And if not, I'm moving forward. I'm not playing. Trust me." Sophie claims that in June of 2023, Dre tried to force him to unlawfully disclose confidential information obtained during a therapy session with a third party. That was likely one of his children. I'm just speculating. But remember, they said that one of the children, the doctor was allegedly trying to turn that child against Dr. Dre. So I just wonder if that's what who they're talking about. Now, Sophie says he refused and again tried to stay calm and hope that Young's threats, harassment, and intimidation would just stop. On August the 4th of 2023, Dr. Dre sent another disturbing and chilling text message in which he allegedly threatened, "Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you." Sophie claims that the particularly sinister text left him more fearful for his life than ever before. Just imagine, okay, who does Dr. Dre think he is, the boogeyman? Now, the doctor claims that in February of 2023, immediately after the initial texts were sent, he received a strange call from a security guard about at his gated community, saying individuals claiming to be the FBI agents were there, requesting to be led into the doctor's residence to speak to him. The doctor says he believes the people were impersonating agents to gain access to his residence and send the unmistakable message that Sophie wasn't safe even in the sanctuary of his own home. Dr. Sophie lives in constant fear. He wears a bulletproof vest. I shouldn't be laughing, but what? He says he lives in constant fear and wears a bulletproof vest anytime he steps foot outside. He's afraid to leave his home and is constantly looking over his shoulder. The egregiousness of Young's persistent harassing behavior has compelled Dr. Sophie to seek redress and protection. Nobody should have to live in constant fear, but Dr. Sophie does, ironically for no other reason than he tried to help Young to resolve his own family's conflict. This sounds almost like a movie I saw once with Bruce Willis, where he played a therapist. I forget the name. But the lawsuit includes claims of civil harassment, threat of violence based on his sexual orientation, and a court order prohibiting contact. He's seeking compensatory damages of at least $10 million and punitive damages to be decided at trial. So what do you all think? Does this sound like it has any teeth to it? Or does it just sound like a money grab or what? What do you all have to say about it? What do you all have to say about it? Everybody said The Sixth Sense. That's not the movie I'm talking about. No, this was a movie way before that. I cannot remember the name of it, but he played a psychologist who was doing some nefarious things with his patients, if memory serves me correct. Okay. Hold on, beloveds. Now, I saw a video the other day. I'm trying to see if I can find the information. Hold on. So this NBA player got into it with the mother of his child. And she basically was accusing him of abuse. So I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. I mean, he all but admitted that she had bruises. He didn't say how she got the bruises. But to me, she was doing the most. Okay? Like, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Somebody asked, was it Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn? No, it wasn't Meryl Streep or Goldie Hawn. It was some other actress whose name, for whatever reason, I can't remember. Okay, I can't remember. I want to say it was called Night something. I'll look it up in a second. Like, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
I don't care if you have me on recording. I could care less. I just don't want to. What I'm afraid of, because of who you are, as we like taking it, and then you like fighting me off of him, and then you go, oh my god, you abused me.
No, I wouldn't do. First of all, you have laid hands on me before, so
Get the fuck out.
you have.
Stupid shit, bro.
I have pictures of it.
I know.
And text messages of it.
You have pictures of it right here.
Yeah, and you text
Who
me.
the fuck is gonna care about that?
Who's gonna care?
Who's
gonna care?
Bro, they're bruises. You know what? I don't even get into that.
I mean, you are former 76 player RJ Hampton. I mean, your baby mom is a content creator, and she currently has over 100,000.
That's okay. Wow.
Halo, come back.
Wow.
At the end of the day, like the fact that you can sit here and allow, no, because your child has been traveling since 5 a.m. He's been traveling since 5 a.m. and you're sitting here making him wander around a hotel. I'm not playing victim. I'm saying, no.
You went to Miami and you lived
First of all,
and your parents kept it.
Yeah, my mom is more of a parent to him than you have ever been.
Dead or alive. Shut up.
Can you get the hotel? Because I have to be here for 45 days. That's not the document that you signed, sir.
Man, listen, you're supposed to be like, yo, I'm RJ Hampton. Why are you going back and forth? Well, not say.
PM. I've been sitting in the lobby since 2 p.m. and still no room. Halo's still not back. Don't know where he is. I hope he ate dinner. I hope poor thing's been up since 5 a.m. His bedtime was an hour ago. So I hope he is back soon, because technically his visitation schedule that he's supposed to have access to the child, is from 8 to 8. So I would hope that he does at least abide by that part and bring him back by 8 p.m. So another 33 minutes, hopefully, and I will have my baby back. I genuinely I like really don't even know what to. I've never in my life experienced anything like this, and I pray that nobody else has to. So all I have to say is be careful who you have a baby with. Yeah, because sharing a child that you love with somebody who is literally a horrible person is not for the weak.
Now, if all this took place during
Okay, so here's what I have to say about that. First of all, in my opinion, she needs to sit down somewhere. I don't have any empathy and sympathy for her because here's the thing. As far as I'm concerned, it seemed to me like she was just mad, butthurt, and bitter. Now, she clearly thought that he was going to pay for her hotel stay. That's what it seems like. Okay, it seemed like she thought that he was going to pay for her hotel stay. Because why are you still sitting in the lobby? Girl, don't you have any money? Are you broke? Skeletar fan says, I wonder how much she gets in child support. Good question. Okay, but here's the thing. For her to sit there and suggest, foolishly, I'm sure, to say, oh, I hope that he's fed him because he's been up since 5 a.m. Because she rode to wherever they met up. And then she said that I hope he's eaten. First of all, girl, you know darn well that man fed that child. You know darn well that man fed his child down somewhere. She's just mad, butthurt, and bitter. Now she wants to give other people advice that we don't need from her. Talking about, be careful who you have a child with. Well, yeah, that's common sense. That's common sense. At the end of the day, she's the one that likely needs to be fed. She probably doesn't have money to do anything. That's why she's sitting in the lobby. That's why she was talking trash to him. And I want you all to pay attention because in the beginning of that video, she was clearly trying to antagonize him. And he wasn't having it. He said some slick stuff to her, but in a calm tone. And then he was leaving. Okay. So she further wants to antagonize him by saying, oh, you have put hands on me before. And then she says, I have text messages and bruises. And he said, yeah, you got bruises. Nobody's worried about that. Nobody cares about that. Now, the question is, how did she get those bruises, though, buddy? I have questions. Did you give her bruises by restraining her, putting her off of you? Did you punch her, hit her, whatever? I don't know. But at the end of the day, she was clearly trying to provoke him, okay? She was clearly trying to provoke him. That's what she was doing, as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, she obviously came there with no money. Okay, Miss J said she should have taken her own advice. Exactly. And here's the thing. She's talking about be careful who you have a baby with because, you could have from a horrible person. Well, how do we know you're not a horrible person? That's for number one. For number two, I'm sure she didn't give a darn what kind of person he was when she got with him and laid down because he's an NBA player. Clearly, she likely wanted him for his money. Okay, so don't cry foul now because the two of you are not together and things aren't going your way. And then, Kabami said she's an idiot. Exactly. Okay, exactly. She is an idiot. And then she followed him trying to record him. Yeah, so here's the thing. If he's put hands on you, I would think that somebody who's putting hands on you before, that the least thing or the last thing you want to do is tick them off so they can put hands on you again. I would think that you wouldn't want to try to escalate a situation. I would think that you would not be following them, trying to provoke them to anger. Because that's what she was doing. Okay, Mission's Visit said she followed him, and why she had to record that. She knew what she was going to post. Of course, clout chasing. What she's trying to do now is make him look bad because she's upset. Like I said, she's just a bitter, butthurt ex. That's what it is. And like I said, let's not jump to conclusions because he admitted she had bruises because we don't know if he put those bruises on her from punching her, beating her, or whatever, or just trying to restrain her. Because she is fair-skinned. Okay, please pay attention. All right, and some of these women, they just do the most. Some of these women, they just do the most. Like, yeah, exactly. DJ Big Six, where is the report? Exactly. I have questions. Okay, I have questions. And I'm sorry, but women who look like her have a nefarious history of lying on black men. So I'm not going to jump to her defense. I'm not going to jump to her defense. That's what I'm not going to do. And Denise King said, yes, clout.
Because, girl, why are you on the internet putting us all in your business? Okay, why are you sitting there telling us your sob story? I should have cued the violin, seriously, because I don't feel sorry for you. Now, what I do feel sorry about is the poor child has to deal with this. Okay, a strained relationship by parents who are no longer together, and one of them clearly trying to provoke the other one to anger just to push her own narrative. Okay. This is all so crazy. Anyway, with that all being said, honey, she needs to sit down somewhere. She thought that man was going to pay for her hotel stay. That has to be what it was. Because why are you sitting in the lobby still after all this time? I mean, I would have thought that getting a hotel room would have been your first priority once you got there. Okay? And then she said the child hadn't eaten since 5 o'clock. I want y'all to pay attention because here's the thing. You didn't feed the child. You did, or she said the child, yeah, the child had been up since 5 o'clock. That's what she said. Had been up since 5 a.m. Did she feed the child breakfast before they started on their journey? I have questions. And she knows darn well that man fed the child. Okay, please sit down somewhere, girl, trying to play it off at the end of the day. So, anyway, honey, I'm about to be out of here. Like up, everyone, please like and share. Okay. Oh, nope. I'm sorry. Let me show one more thing before I go, guys. Let me show one more thing. Now, Vivica Fox has come out and spoken about how people have been asking about her cheeks. And I'm talking about the ones on her face. Her face is a little fluffy, and people have been saying stuff about her face and all of that, which, you know, in my opinion, people should not be doing stuff like that. Vivica Fox is 60 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just do the research. Hold on. Let me just look, not research. Let me just Google it real quick. Let me see how old Vivica is. Yeah, she's 60. Okay, so I'm not sure if people think that she's supposed to still look like she did back in the day on Set It Off. She's aging. Okay, maybe she's had some work done. I mean, I don't think that she should have had any work done. Greta said fluffy, not plastic surgery. DJ Big Six said she was beautiful before all the work. She really was. But, you know, some people don't want to age gracefully. They just feel like they need to have stuff done. But now, with her face looking like that, to me, it looks like maybe she's taking some kind of medication like steroids or something. I don't know. But at the end of the day, people need to stop trying to go in on people because clearly this is something that she can't help.
My womanhood, feeling comfortable saying I'm 60, not like, oh, don't say my age. Yeah. I admired women like Sophia Loren, Tina Turner, you know, women,
Angela Bassett. I know
Angela
you did
Bassett.
you did an interview. You said of Tina Turner to Angela Bassett to Pam Grier, who we both love so much. You said you've compared them to fine wine because it gets better with time.
Yes. I actually named my production company after Pam Grier, Foxy Brown. So my production company is Foxy Brown Productions. Yeah. Just because the first beautiful, strong woman I saw on screen was
I agree. I think that might have been the first too.
Okay.
And Pam watches, so we love you.
Okay, so POP. Now, didn't I just say that people shouldn't go in on people? Sitting there talking about, oh, she is bloated like a mo. First of all, at the end of the day, the lady has gotten older, and she possibly has gained some weight. Now, clearly she is 60, but should have aged gracefully and leave the plastic surgery alone. I agree. But you can't tell people something because sometimes people have, you know, body dysmorphia, or sometimes people are just, you know, have complexes. They're just insecure. Antoinette says she should have left her. Hold on, where did that comment go? She should have left her face alone. She was pretty back in the day. Right. Ethelene says, I don't like Tamala Hall. In my opinion, she's trying to be like Oprah. She could be. I don't know. DJ DJ Big Six said you can do neck and jaw exercises. Neck and jaw exercises, beloved. You are something else. You are something else. They absolutely cannot. Greta says, indeed, DJ Big Six, you can, but will she? God, you all are terrible. How did this go left? You all are awful. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm about to be out of here. I'm about to be out of here. Here's the thing. You know, as you get older, your metabolism slows down, right? Denise King says celebrities are always trying to compete with the younger celebrities anyway. Right. And Lily X said, I'm rolling. Honey, I am too. Okay. POP said, Greta, we all are going to hell. Not me. I didn't say anything. Okay. I didn't say a word. And Greta said 60 is not a spring chicken. This is all nefarious. Okay, I'm not going to say anything else. Y'all are terrible. So with that all been said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm laughing because y'all are still laughing. Subscribe. Claudette says hilarious. You know, it's really, we should not be laughing. We probably are going to hell. But listen, somebody said in the comments on Instagram that she looked like Martin Lawrence when he played on Big Mama's House. No, I am going to hell. I really am going to hell. Okay. But look, seriously, it looks like maybe she's on steroids or something for some type of medical issue, possibly. I don't know. Okay. You all are just terrible. You all are absolutely terrible. DJ Big Six said LOL. Exactly. Hold on. Greta said no black person should go to hell. We already in hell here on earth. You got that right. Okay. Denise said y'all in trouble for that one. Oh, okay. Miss J said, oh, wow, that's so wrong. Not Big Mama. That's what somebody said in the comments, honey. Listen, I love Vivica Fox. Okay, I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the foolishness of what people have said in the comments on Instagram. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. For those of you who follow the spiritual channel, I will upload something on there today, okay, to air at 6:15. And I'll be live on there tomorrow, okay? I will be live on there tomorrow. And for those of you who have memberships, I know you saw a pre-recorded video. I may have posted one or two. I think I know I posted one. But just pay attention because those are old masterclass videos, okay? Those are old masterclass videos from like a year ago. So they have a lot more pertinent information is all I'm saying. All right. So anyway, Greta says, I'm 73 and I look 53. Okay. Well, shout out to you, beloved. I hope when I get 73, I look 53 too. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, listen, always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives and prayers for the hurricane victims and anyone else that's going through anything that could be traumatizing, hurtful, anything health-wise, financial-wise, or whatever. We should really not only be praying for ourselves, we should be praying for other people because this world is going through spiritual warfare, okay? And don't forget to follow your lifelines and stock up on everything as I told you. Okay, so until next time, beloveds, I'll talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. All in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got